What's going on, moving project? So I'm going to meet up with a friend of mine. She does like dance and contact improv and things, and we're gonna meet in Central Park. So I'm walking there right now. Trains were delayed as usual. I live my life in one train ride at a time. So also I'd like to put a disclaimer first and foremost that by no means am I an actual dancer. On my movement journey, I like the idea of dance and improvisation because it leads to breaking out of that shell of confined movement. You can basically break all the rules. So I became kind of obsessed with it after doing Andrew's ParkCon, and I was like hooked on it. I had been doing a little bit of contact improv before, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So he set a nice little foundation with his ParkCon, which is parkour plus contact improv. So now I'm gonna dig a little bit deeper in it, and we'll see what Gabi can teach us today. Yeah, so it's Gabi.
Anyways, that's just something I'm thinking about because you have all of this embodied knowledge from practicing all of these different modalities. I think you have the knowledge that you're looking for to build upon, but find ways to apply it that make sense for you. Like that's kind of where I feel like I'm at in my movement career, where I've dabbled in so many different things, but I've always treated them as like mutually exclusive. But the older I get, the more I want those things
Put everything together.
Right. To intersect, and they do.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing about movement is that you can find those intersections through play, through exploration.
Yeah. So what should we start with?
For me, it might be nice to just like maybe do that level play and
like a body scan type of thing.
Kind of a body scan. We move in a circle, and it's just a walk. The idea is you kind of want to get into all the spaces in your body and be in a constant state of motion. So it's not a choreographed thing. It doesn't necessarily need to be symmetrical in the body. Like you don't have to do
like one side and then do the other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The idea is just to keep everything moving and to try to hit everything from like facial muscles to pelvis to toes even. It's a little bit hard to choose, but and you kind of build speed as you go, and then you de-escalate later, and so that's just like a simple thing.
All right, cool.
Keeping your body in motion. I'm getting creating counterpoint to find the place of balance. So do you want to start with like using this
surface
here? Yeah.
Yeah.
This little corner thing.
Now I try to start with something like weird, like.
challenge for myself of like making as little surface area for me to balance on as possible. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to do everything on the balls of my feet, or like just using like finger grips, because like that especially is a challenge for me. And it was actually interesting because it made me like focus more, and it went a lot smoother than I thought it would.
Yeah.
I think for that reason.
I think in the beginning, like, I was kind of clunky, intentionally trying to do it the hardest way possible, but then I realized, like, see what opportunities are there and see how I can, like, you know, take advantage of them. Once I started doing that, like, everything felt a lot smoother. We gotta take it this anything that like inspires you while you move? Like closing thoughts you wanna?
Yeah, I think what inspired me throughout this entire thing is that we made the time for this, and that we gave ourselves permission to use the space, and that people were really responsive.
Yeah.
You know, both like respecting our use of the space, or like watching quietly.
Yeah.
Or
We didn't have any hecklers.
just respect for one another. Kind of emboldens me in a way to be like,
Yeah.
we can both inhabit this space and use this space for recreation, for movement, for what have you.
Yeah, it also like changes your perspective on like the spaces. Like, so we were doing something that was like a little against the grain. So like using the space like creatively. So whereas steps could be for sitting, or they could be for, walking up and down, we're using it like, oh, let's roll up the stairs, let's roll down the stairs,
Exactly.
Like, I think that's like a big social construct that like we have in our heads, but it doesn't necessarily exist. Spaces are neutral, and what you do with it is like on you.
I don't know that spaces are neutral though. Spaces are constructed, guided in very specific ways, with specific people in mind, and all of that. And I think the beauty of doing something like this in a public space is that you can subvert a lot of that. Like you said, there are all these like unspoken ways that we're expected to behave in a park, but also like actual like
no shit rules, like don't do
exactly.
this. Yeah.
And I don't know, I think it's like absolutely powerful and necessary for people to say like, hey, here is what we want from these spaces, here's what we can do in these spaces, here are ways in which we can move our bodies where we can't in so many other places in our day-to-day lives. I think, and it's great to see that people get that, even if they're not doing it necessarily themselves.
Dope. I'm never good at like doing the like at the end, like how you like send it off.
Oh, closing statement.
Yeah, the closing. I don't know how to do that, so I just like, okay, that's it.
Oh my god,
Yeah, like
so awkward.
Yeah.